It's the Illegal Elbow Show. Alright, welcome back. Legal Elbow Show. Gonna run down a little UFC 157 action for you. Just a quick one. We'll kind of run over some news, stuff like that. But I was pretty pumped to see Robbie Lawler get back in there. Is he 2005 or 2003, something like that, somewhere around there. But anyhow, I'm gonna basically start with Brendan Schaub taking on LeVar Johnson. Schaub pretty much played it. You know, I don't want to say played it safe, but he did. He played it safe. Played his wrestling game. Played it safe, played a little bit to his strengths, maybe, you know, and to LeVar's weaknesses. You know, LeVar's not a big, he's okay wrestler guy, I guess. It's not his forte. He's a striker. He should start doing something about that, though, to be honest with you. The striker's game is not working for him because he's good with striking, but not good enough defensively to, you know, get himself away from being taken down, you know, get counterpunched. I don't know. It's starting to look like just lackluster game as a whole, you know what I mean? He really needs to brush up on some other stuff. Not brush up, but do a lot of learning, you know what I mean? The guy's 17-7, he's been in the game for a little while, but, you know, not in this game, you know, I mean, this is a whole different stage here, and, you know, and I think he needs to step it up a bit here, you know what I mean? Brendan Schaub, you'd think maybe a little bit more experienced, but he's not more experienced at all, really. I mean, he hasn't been in there as long. He fought a smart fight, really. I mean, it's just basically what it is. Much more you can really say about it, man. It doesn't make me excited to see Brendan Schaub fight again, but coming off of, I know at least a couple of bad losses. I don't know if they're both knockout losses, but I know there were a couple of bad losses, and he was probably getting nervous, you know what I mean, with all these cuts going on. And UFC's a big ass company, man. Before I, you know, move on to this rest of this card, UFC's a huge company, you know what I mean. You can't keep growing your payroll and growing your profits, you know, at the same time, you know what I mean? It's really hard to stay in a high profit margin when you got a shit ton of payroll, you know what I mean? And that's basically what Dana boiled it down to. Basically, was Fitch is expensive. I thought Fitch's last couple wins, you know what I mean? His obviously his last couple losses sucked, you know what I mean? But his last couple wins I thought would look good, you know what I mean? His win over BJ Penn, BJ Penn looked great. You know, it might have been, I think it was about maybe about a year and a half ago, maybe. Probably around the year range. You know, some of his last few wins looked really good. He was 14-3 in UFC, I believe. Something like that. One of them stupid things, man. Sucks, but this video is brought to you by Bud Light. Josh Koscheck coming out and taking on Robbie Lawler. I picked Koscheck with this fight. I just, you know, I thought, you know, if there was any kind of a war to be had, Koscheck would take it to the ground and just, you know, do what he does. You know, he's a striker, wrestler. So going in there with Lawler, I think it was a premature stoppage. It's just my opinion, man. I you know, I'm sure a lot of you out there agree. Some might not, but Lawler basically, you know, tagged him with a good shot and had him on the ground, tagged him with a couple other good shots. And I mean, before he could really start to really just go to town and pound away at him, Herb Dean was already in there, you know what I mean? And, I mean, we can't always see what Herb Dean sees, you know what I mean? We can't always see what any ref sees. You know, he could have been out for a second, you know what I mean? And that's all it really takes for somebody to stop it, because you don't want to get no brain damage, you know what I mean? You don't want to, but I've seen, we've all seen it go a lot worse than that, you know? We've all seen it go a lot worse than that, so I think some of these guys just in the moment, they're a little nervous, you know what I mean? Like, oh shit, you know, I don't want him to take too many shots, when really he didn't really take very many at all. So, but I mean, Koscheck was definitely, if he wasn't in trouble then, he was going to be in trouble in my opinion. So I even though I think it's early stoppage, I think it would have been stopped either way, because I don't think Koscheck had much chance of getting out of that. Lawler was pretty well teeing off on him, you know, and was in a great position to keep going. You know what I mean? It was just the way they were positioned. Lawler could have put a nasty beating down on him. Nasty beating. So, Brian Faber gets a shot again at Ivan Menjivar. And rear naked choke in the first round, man. Very nice job. Very nice job. Kind of gets back in there to kind of prove a point. You know, hey, I'm still on the map here, bitches. He proves to still be awesome at his game and good at what he does. Great at what he does. Lyoto Machida taking on Dan Henderson. A lot of people, I don't know, people are getting to the point where they really don't like Machida. You know, at least some of them are. I love Machida, man. I think what he does is, I think it's fucking spectacular. You know, you can try to hit me all you want. You're not going to connect. You know what I mean? If you do, you know, I'm going to be moving so that, you know, I don't know. He just, you know, a lot of times when somebody really lands on him, you know, the punches are deflected. You know what I mean? He's just got such a style, you know, and I think he's really ramped it up too. I think it's a little different than he used to be. You know, it's the same style, but it's maybe a little more attentive when he needs to be, because, you know, with guys like Dan Henderson, guys like John Jones, guys like Shogun used to be. I just don't think. I think if Lyoto Machida and Shogun win again, I think it'd be a totally different fight. But that's just my opinion. I think the thing with Dan Henderson these days, when he takes on guys like Lyoto Machida, he looks at a guy like Lyoto Machida. He's been knocked out before. I could probably knock him out. And he went for the 1-2 punch, the one H-bomb the entire time, and it cost him the fight. I mean, just straight up cost him the fight. Excuse me. One of the judges had it for Dan Henderson. I just agree. I think Lyoto pretty much had it across the board. I don't, you know, I'm a fan of both these guys though, so it's not like, you know, I'm placating to Lyoto, you know, not like that. I just think Lyoto did, in terms of what he wanted to do, he did what he wanted to do, and Henderson wasn't able to do 50% of what he wanted to do, you know, and he was barely able to land. And, you know, moving on to the main event, Ronda Rousey. I'm going to go ahead and put out a little bit of hats off. You know, she went in there and did a good job. You know, she had Liz Carmouche on her back. You know what I mean? And Carmouche was really, he was on there and doing really well, man. You know what I mean? I think a lot of people don't give Liz enough credit. You know, came out and had a bite on her arm. You know, a lot of people were making a stink over that. I don't think it's that big of a deal because the choke wasn't on. You know, if it was on at some point, you know, later in the point of her being on Rousey's back or not, or earlier in the point of her being on her back, whether that choke was on or off, there was a point where she was neck cranking across her mouth. So easily her arm could have went right into Rousey's mouth. Rousey's got a mouthpiece on, so maybe she crammed the mouthpiece in a little bit or something like that. Who knows? I don't know. You know, I can't really say. Even that being the case, it's, you know, it takes a lot to get around that. You know what I mean? Because he's had a good looking neck crank going on her. You know what I mean? She still made her way out of it. I don't get excited about a woman fight as I do, you know, a dude fight. It's easier for me to watch a dude get his ass kicked than a chick. It's just the way it is. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of guys agree with me on that. But I saw it, and it was a good fight. And still quick, you know, the armbar prevailed, you know what I mean? But let's get on to some news. It was a pretty good night, man. Pretty good night. Not an amazing night in my eyes by any means. Travis Brown going to be fighting Gonzaga at a TUF 17 finale. And he says he is 100%, feels great since his loss to Antonio Silva. Says, you know, I got to just put that loss behind me. You know what I mean? I came to terms with that loss. Put it behind me. You know, it is what it is. I'm not going to make any excuses for future fights. None of that BS. I'm not going to do it. And I can't wait to get back in the cage and get it done. So, which is awesome. I'm pumped to see it. So it's going to be great. Some other headlines for you. Just to run down this real quick. Little Bellator 90 action for you guys. I was pumped to see this card because this was a sick ass card, man. I mean, in terms of I would say going in, it's a damn good card. Coming out, even better, man. Even better. Raul Amaya taking on Ben Saunders. Ben Saunders, a nasty head kick KO in the first round. Sick ass head kick. I mean, just to help top off a kick-ass night, you know what I mean? The night was full of finishes, you know what I mean? But Douglas Lima comes out, fighting Brian Baker, out of nowhere. KO punch, man, first round. Solidifies that one right there, too, man. A little more icing on the cake. Both of them guys, too, are you know what I mean? They both have had such cool wins in Bellator. And to see them guys go at it. Quick knockout for Lima, man. Lima, definitely excited to see what's going on next with that guy for sure, man. But Mikhail Zayats versus Jacob No. And that's exactly what Mikhail had to say to Jacob was no. Armbar submission, round one. Mikhail's taking on Emmanuel Newton. Which Emmanuel Newton looked badass in this fight. Looked great, man. I mean, I didn't know this guy had this much experience under his belt, man. King Mo should have really looked at that. This guy's got a shit ton of experience on me. Saw a couple loopholes in King Mo's game. King Mo had them hands down by his friggin' waist. Stupid idea, dude. Stupid idea, you know. King Mo's been known to do shit like that, though. King Mo drops his hands. You know, what's his name's kind of his back spacing him a little bit. Hey, why not? Just throw it out there. Total back fist. You know, people call it a spinning back fist. It was not a spinning back fist. He was on the tail end of, you know, of a punch, spun around a little bit while King Mo's coming this way, just pops it out and lands it. And King Mo just like a statue, man. Right down, man. Very cool to see, man. Very cool to see. I'm not a huge King Mo fan. I don't think he's a bad guy by any means. I don't like all the showboat and shit. To me, that just makes somebody look like a candy ass, and I don't think he means to come off that way. But it just, for me, it's like, you know, I don't mind seeing you lose when you act the way you do sometimes, you know, even though, like I said, I don't think he's that kind of guy, really. You know what I mean? I don't think he's a bad guy by any means, but... And it's nice to see King Mo not come in and you know, it kind of lets you know, hey, you know what, King Mo, you know, maybe next time around you'll take this a little more seriously and stop acting like you're going to come in here and mop up the floor with everybody. Take it a little more seriously next time, and who knows, you might mop the floor up with some guys if you take it a little more seriously. So anyway, King Mo ratcheting it up to 9-2 record. Shabalat Shamalayev, because of M. Night Shyamalan, whatever. I can't even say that guy's name, man. The guy that does the movies. But whenever they say his name, that's what I think of. You know, whenever they say this guy's name, that's what I think of. But came up with the bald head this time. I didn't expect that at all. But Rad Martinez, knockout, round 2, 2 minutes 12 seconds. It was something to see. If you haven't seen it, man, you got to look for it online, man. Check it out. I'm sure it's on YouTube somewhere, man. Good fight to watch, man. Overall, great night to watch. Bellator, man. UFC on Fuel 8. Silva versus Stan. Finally, it's happening. Brian Stan taking on Vanderlei Silva. I think last time it didn't happen because of some kind of injury or something like that, I believe. This one's going down in Japan. It's going to be sweet, man. We'll run over some of these fights here. I'm not going to run down them all, but some ones that kind of stand out to me a little bit. Brian Caraway taking on Mizugaki. I think that's a cool fight. I like it. You know, I'm kind of weighing in the area of a Mizugaki, maybe. You know what I mean? It's kind of a rough one to call. Baha Durzada taking on Dan Hyun Kim. That could be pretty cool, man. That could be a pretty damn cool fight. Kim could find himself in a little trouble in this one. He could, man. He could. You know, Baha Durzada is a fucking beast, man. This guy's not only pretty well rounded, man. This guy's got fucking luggage for fists, man. He can bang. He can bang with the best of them in the 170s. Hector Lombard taking on Yushin Okami. It's one thing with Yushin Okami, man. Yushin Okami is either on and looking fucking great, or he's completely off and is getting his anus handed to him. I mean, just completely. Both cheeks handed to him on a platter with a spoon. Just go ahead, man. Here you go, sir. Here's your platter. But if we see the Hector Lombard that we saw last time, I think he's probably going to catch Okami, ring his bell a little bit. Obviously, you know what I mean? Bust his ass up. But if we see a really careful Yushin Okami, who knows, man? We might see some little trickery going on. Hector Lombard's a heck of a wrestler, though. So, I mean, it's... Plus, you got a tall guy like Yushin Okami. When him trying to do a takedown on such a short guy like that, you know, he's not only got to, you know, come down and rush him, you know what I mean, to do a takedown, unless he's doing a different type of takedown. But I don't see him getting in that close to really get a you know, that kind of a hold on Lombard. It's all the way around. It's a tough fight, but I mean, trying to shoot in. If he's going to shoot in, try to take down Hector Lombard, he's got to shoot in that much lower because Hector Lombard's that much lower to the ground. You know what I mean? So that does matter. It does matter. I don't care what anybody says. It matters. Diego Sanchez taking on Takanori Gomi. That's another thing, man. Gomi, we've seen Gomi look fucking amazing in fights, and then It's not so much in other ones, man. But I would have to say this is a damn tough fight to call, man. It really is, because these guys are both such tough guys, man. I mean, I don't know, man. I'm almost half tempted to say maybe Diego Sanchez by decision, maybe. Yeah, it's really hard to say. Mark Hunt taking out Stephen Struve. I mean, I think there's one of two ways this fight's going to end. Struve by submission or Hunt by knockout. And I would say it's probably a 60-40 shot, maybe 55-45. Yeah. But I think it's a pretty damn good shot Hunt's going to knock him out, because Struve's been looking pretty badass lately, and he's stepped his game up. You know what I mean? That's why I'm kind of like, I don't know, man. I mean, Mark Hunt's still got an 8-7 record. Came into UFC 5-6, so he's turned that around a little bit. You know, and make no mistake either, Mark Hunt's got a shit ton of experience. You know, and just overall ring experience. You know, I mean, the guy's. So going in here with a Struve is not going to be no walk in the fucking park by any means. I don't see him downright getting his fucking ass kicked. I'll tell you that. I mean, if Struve's, like I said, if Struve's not going to knock out a Hunt, I can tell you that. I really don't believe that. I mean, anything's possible. There's a first for everything, but I do not see Struve knocking out a Mark Hunt. Mark Hunt's got a brick for a chin and brick for hands. You know, it's be an interesting game plan set up here for Struve. Very interesting. But I'm going to pick Mark Hunt by knockout, because I think once he gets the ball rolling and gets Struve running, Struve's not going to have anywhere to go, and it's just going to be on the end of some just heat seekers, man. Fucking bombs. Brian Stann taking on Wanderlei Silva. This fight could be really interesting, man, because there's some fights I really don't like for Brian Stann, because Brian Stann, I would say, is probably his forte is stand and bang. That's why I call him Brian Stand and Bang. That's what he does best. And Wanderlei Silva will go toe to toe with him, and you know, they got a good shot at knocking each other out, I think. You know, because you got Wanderlei Silva nowadays is he's a lot more run and gun than you've seen in the last couple years. You know, he's back with Cadero, you know, his older trainer from way back, you know, Axe Murderer days. It's probably his best bet. Just come out all guns fucking blazing. People already know your game, and you still got a damn good fucking punch. He's still got a damn good punch. You know, he beat Bisping. It looked good in that fight too, man. That was like a big turnaround fight for him. You know, I really had my kind of had my questions. You know, is Wanderlei Silva going to be able to come back and take out a Bisping? You know what I mean? Who knows? I think he's got a pretty good shot at taking out Stan. But I'm really hoping Stan's gone to the drawing board. I think it was his last fight. I don't remember who the hell it was against, but his last fight, he just looked out. You know, I don't even want to say outclassed, but I mean, I can't think of another word for it. Really outgamed. You know, out wrestled, out striked. Just you know what I mean. It just looked like the other guy just had too much for him. You know, for lack of better explanation. But looks to be a pretty good night, man, for damn sure. March 2nd. Definitely pumped up for him. That's just about what I got for you, man. Legal Elbow Show. Hope you guys enjoy it. Chime in, tell me what you guys think, anything you disagree with, or whatever. Comment, something you'd like to talk about, something you want to hear me talk about, or whatever. Any suggestions, I'm open. Alright, man, we will see you next time. Take care, guys, and have a good one, man. See ya. BAM! It's the Illegal Elbow Show!